I think kids' sports teams should not give out participation trophies. When I was, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I played soccer. And for those years, I'm pretty sure I received a participation trophy, for every season I played. I'm not 100% sure because that's how memorable participation trophies are. But I do remember that when I was 11, I got a trophy for being MVP of my soccer team that year. And, it was memorable to me. And now that I've told you that little story, we're going to move on to some statistical stuff. The majority of Americans still say that only winners should get trophies, but that percentage is going down by generation. As you can see through this graph, my generation, the 18 to 24-year-olds, there's a pretty much equal amount of people that think participation trophies should be given. But as the older generations are questioned about it, they believe that participation trophies should not be given, which makes my generation and current generations the trophy generation. We get trophies for everything. We get trophies for signing up for soccer, getting up in the mornings, going to school all year round. We get trophies for that stuff, which I think gives the wrong message. Participation trophies send a dangerous message. They can give kids a false sense of accomplishment, which can lead to narcissism. When you get nonstop recognition, you constantly think you're the best because, nobody ever tells you you need to do better. And there's also no room to grow. It's uninspiring to be given, a participation trophy for waking up in the morning. I also believe that it takes away from the winners. It leaves the exceptional players unrecognized. When everybody gets a trophy, nobody's special. That leads me into James Harrison. Well, we're going to skip this slide because I missed it. Steelers linebacker James Harrison raised some red flags on Instagram a couple years ago when he posted a photo of participation trophies that his boys had brought home. He is firmly against them, and he doesn't want his boys to feel entitled. He wants them to earn something, not just be given it. Which leads me into the memory I talked about in the beginning. I played soccer for a team called the Sidewinders, and it was a co-ed team, which was basically an all-boys team, because I was 11 years old, and I didn't want to be on a team called the Ladybugs. That didn't make sense to my 11-year-old self. So I had to work really, really hard to stay on the boys' team. Really hard. And so at the end of the season, I was the most improved player, one of the better players. So they awarded me the MVP trophy, which, I still remember, even however many years ago that still matters to me. I consider that, a token of achievement for myself. I do not believe that participation trophies are tokens of achievement. They're more like tokens of a memory, that, sits on a shelf that you forget about. I probably received 4 or 5 in my life that I couldn't tell you the name of that team. I believe they're meaningless, however that is said. I call those years I played soccer the participation years. I believe there are a lot of knots to participation trophies. They're not rewarding, they're not motivational, and they're not valuable. They're not rewarding. Why would you want to participate and do better if you're not going to be rewarded for it? And if you're not going to be rewarded for it, why are you motivated to do it? And they're not valuable. If every single kid gets a trophy that's on that team, they're not valuable to you. They're useless. They're meaningless. Let's see. And the final thing that I think is the problem with participation trophies is it demotes problem-solving skills. When I was on the Sidewinders, I wanted to be on that team. I wanted to be better. So I overcame the obstacles I had, and that obstacle happened to be being a girl and slower. But, I got faster and got better and was able to stay on that team. Participation trophies don't allow for the drive to become better. And I think that harms kids rather than helps them. So in the end, I think participation should be recognized, by like a pat on the back, good job, you did this, but not by a trophy. And it do not think that's good for the youth of the world. All right, and my fun ending picture. What if I told you participation trophies never made me feel special because I knew I didn't earn it? All right, guys, do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think that by not receiving a participation trophy that it hinders a kid's self-esteem? Maybe it's a kid that really just won't ever excel, but they're just...
No, I think it's a lesson that needs to be learned. Not everybody will excel in life. That's kind of a life lesson. At least I think it is. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Next question.
Do you think as your age group ages, that graph will change and then
Yes.
more people will,
I
you
do.
think it's just the young and
I think it's the young people
Impressionable.
who haven't experienced life yet. So they have no idea that, life is not, a box. Well, it is a box of chocolates, actually. Well, that didn't work. It's not going to be handed to you at all. So I think as you age, you understand that life is not fair.
can you argue the other side?
I could. There is a logical argument for the other side. Not that I can remember what it is at the moment.
It's about
Okay.
as memorable as a participation.
I have another question.
Sure.
Do you think participation trophies hinder a child's ability to succeed in everyday challenges they will face in the future?
I think it's possible, but not probable. I received several in my life, and I think I'm doing okay. But I think it can lead to issues if they're not aware of, the fact that they're not meaningful or anything like that.
Right.
You have any questions, Tom? I know you were talking about asking me a billion.
I'm good.